Welcome in for another edition of the Morning Espresso here on the SDH Network, presented by our friends at Oglethorpe University, Atlanta's premier undergraduate learning experience and soccer powerhouse. I'm Jason Longshore. We're going to bounce all over the planet today with all the soccer news you need to know for Tuesday, May 6th. Let's start with the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Moves into the round of 32. 16 MLS teams enter the tournament here. Yes, we want all the MLS teams that are in the United States in the Open Cup. Yes, we want to see that starting next year. Yes, the roster rules need to expand to make that more comfortable for all the teams involved. Yes, 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 but no this year. So it's the 16 lowest placed U.S. teams in the 2024 standings that didn't qualify for the 2025 CONCACAF Champions Cup. 6 entrants from MLS are former Open Cup champions. One of those is DC United. They host Charleston Battery tonight. This is a rivalry match. Yes, it is. 1999, Charleston upset DC United 4-3 in overtime. DC players were very upset and they smashed coffee pots in the locker room. I mean, who does that? It's a coffee pot. Why are you smashing a coffee pot in the locker room? Come on. Well, that started the Coffee Pot Cup. So I guess the winner will get to advance in the tournament and get a coffee pot cup. So we'll see what happens. Good rivalry between DC and Charleston. Should be a good match. Red Bulls, they got to travel across the country to face the defending champions in the USL Championship, Colorado Springs. That's tonight. Also tonight, two Southeastern regional matchups, North Carolina hosting Charlotte, Nashville hosting Chattanooga Red Wolves. Wednesday, Phoenix will host Houston. Juan Guerra, who won the 2023 USL Championship while managing Phoenix, he returns as part of Houston's coaching staff. And also on Wednesday night, San Jose hosts Sacramento. Last two times these teams have met, it was in Sacramento both times, and Republic won both times last year and in 2022. The three previous meetings before that were in San Jose, and the Quakes won. So, are the Quakes favored? We'll find out tonight. With San Jose Earthquakes this season, anything could happen. They could score 5, they could give up 5. Anything can happen. Let's go to the UEFA Champions League. Robert Lewandowski likely going to come off the bench today for Barcelona in the second leg of the semifinal against Inter. Benjamin Pavard of Inter, he took part in training yesterday for the first time since April 27th when he suffered an ankle injury against Roma. Lautaro Martinez, he could play today as well, took part in a little bit of training yesterday. Simone Inzaghi said that it's going to be down to how they feel in fitness tests before the match. Also, Inzaghi said that his team will double up on Lamine Yamal. Dani Olmo had a comment about that. He said Lamine has shown that he can play against 1, 2, or 3 defenders. That just means we'll have a player free. Barca have won only 1 of 6 away Champions League matches against Inter. Overall, they've managed 5 wins in 24 matches in Italy, 21%. That's their lowest success rate against any foreign country in the competition in their history. Flip side, Inter, unbeaten in 15 home matches in the Champions League, their longest undefeated run on their own turf in Europe since the 1980s. So everything's set for Inter to get through here, and it's going to be a sold out San Siro. A record for revenue will be set, the highest figure ever recorded for a match for an Italian club, around 14 million euro at the gate. 12.5 million is what happened in the Champions League semifinal 2 years ago, the derby with Milan. It's the second time this season that Inter have gotten double-digit takings, so 8-figure takings. That was in the quarterfinal against Bayern, 10 million secured there. So Inter raking in the money at the gate. A new record today, sold out San Siro. Inter favored based on history. Can they get it done and advance to the final? It would be a surprise after what we saw from Barcelona previously. Opta still gives Barcelona credit. 56% chance of reaching the final. The likelihood of extra time, according to Opta, is 24.7%. On Wednesday, PSG, they host Arsenal. PSG won 1-0 in London. Arsenal have never overturned a home first leg defeat in European competition. 5 times they have not been able to do it. Most recently against Barcelona in the 2016 round of 16. PSG have won 18 of the 19 UEFA competition ties in which they recorded a first leg away win. PSG, 41.6% favorites to win the tournament now. Barcelona second, Inter third, Arsenal fourth. Let's go to women's soccer. Joe Montemurro, 55 years old. He joined Lyon last summer, was knocked out of the Champions League semifinals by his former club, Arsenal. He is leaving Lyon. He's expected to become the Australian national team coach, according to L'Equipe. In the NWSL, Racing Louisville's Ari Borges was handed a 3-game suspension for pushing referee Corbin May after the contentious match between Louisville and Portland that ended in a 3-3 draw, multiple goals in stoppage time, VAR, interventions that took a long time, 41 combined fouls, an NWSL record. But you can't push a referee. You're going to get a long suspension. 3 games. If she pushed the referee and she only got 3 games, no. That's not enough. That's going to have to be looked at by the U.S. Soccer Federation. If it's more inadvertent, then yeah, you can get away with a suspension like that. But if that's a straight up push, 3 games is oof. Liga MX Femenil. New champions will be crowned this year. Monterrey eliminated in the semifinals. It will be Club America and Pachuca, the best squads in the regular season. They will face off for the final. Águilas, Club America, they're looking for their 3rd title in their history. Pachuca, they are trying to get some revenge here in this one. They knocked out Monterrey 4-2 on aggregate. Monterrey had won back-to-back titles coming into this. America beat their rivals Chivas 4-2, also on aggregate. Club World Cup. I was waiting to see if we were going to get word on this before posting this, and we have not. A verdict is expected today in Club Leon's legal battle with FIFA. Their appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport supposed to be ruled on today. We have not heard anything yet. If Leon wins the appeal, then they'll be in the tournament and they'll play Chelsea on June 16th here in Atlanta. If they don't, if FIFA's ruling is upheld, LAFC and Club America will face off in a play-in game, essentially, and the winner of that will play Chelsea on June 16th here. Meanwhile, Alajuelense, they have also appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, saying that they should get the vacant spot based on coefficient ranking and the rules of the competition, saying that the only way you can have more than 2 teams from one country is if they are continental champions. The reason why everybody wants to get into this thing is the Club World Cup is worth an initial $9.55 million plus a share of the $1 billion in total prize money, depending on performance. So stay tuned. Also, stay tuned. A new wrinkle to silly season will be the opportunity for teams in the Club World Cup to add players for the competition. Manchester United, they are trying to hold on to Bruno Fernandes. Sources told ESPN that they're going to resist any offers, even from Al Hilal, who have added Fernandes as one of the big signings they want to make ahead of Club World Cup. They were trying to get Mo Salah. He decided to sign a contract extension at Liverpool, so now they have turned their attentions to Bruno. Real Madrid, they want to get Trent Alexander-Arnold in place ahead of the Club World Cup. They have planned talks with Liverpool to negotiate an early release from his contract, a few weeks, to get able to get into the Club World Cup squad. Let's continue the telenovela with Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti and Real Madrid have reached an agreement, according to reports, over the terms of his departure. Expected to leave before the end of the season. Coming out of Brazil, their federation expects to name their new men's national team coach by the end of next week, quote, at the latest, unquote. They are still considering Jorge Jesus, who was let go by Al Hilal on May 3rd. So he's free. Ancelotti, we don't know yet, although it sounds like he'll be free. We also don't know with Madrid who's going to take over and when they're going to take over. They still want to bring in Xabi Alonso. According to reports, it's set to go through, but will he take over in time for the Club World Cup? If he doesn't, then Santiago Solari, former manager of Real Madrid on an interim basis and also of Club America, he is the internal favorite candidate to take over as an interim until Xabi Alonso starts preseason for next season. Stay tuned. It's a telenovela. There will be more twists and turns, more than likely. Let's go to Colombia. A top flight matchup in Colombia between Union Magdalena and Once Caldas was suspended in the 80th minute on Sunday. Magdalena fans invaded the pitch and They were trailing 1-0. They invaded the pitch, and they also attacked the Once Caldas coach, Hernan Dario Herrera, and a ball boy. Herrera was hit with a bottle in his leg. Local media reported that the home fans invaded the pitch in protest against their team's bad season. Yeah. They were promoted into the top flight this past year, winless in 16 games, straight on 8 points at the bottom of the league. Yeah, it's a big black eye for Colombian football, and it's not representative of what has been a really strong, growing league. Really disappointed to see this sort of thing, and you're going to have to rule very, very severely against a team that has moved up to the top flight, but can't act like a team in the top flight. Can't have these things happen. Can't have fans rushing the field. And this is why fans rushing the field even after wins is dangerous, because we're seeing more and more incidents between fans on the field or on the court in basketball and going at people on the opposing team, even after winning. So it just can't happen. And we'll see what happens with Union Magdalena in Colombia, but I think it's going to be a severe punishment. In the Premier League, the stars are aligning for Nottingham Forest and Chelsea to fight it out for the final Champions League spot. Chelsea are fifth. They're in a spot right now. Forest are 2 points back in sixth after their 1-1 draw at Crystal Palace. And these two teams play on the final day. So hopefully the final day will have a little bit of meaning for that. Aston Villa have compromised with Tottenham Hotspur. They've agreed to move their Premier League game that's set for May 18th to Friday, May 16th. That gives Tottenham Hotspur more time to prepare for the Europa League final if they make it. Manchester United's match that weekend had already been moved to accommodate the Women's FA Cup final. So now everybody is in a fair situation. One more on English clubs. Colchester United in League Two. They are in advanced takeover talks with a U.S. consortium headed by businessman Tim Foley. Robbie Cowling is the chairman at Colchester United right now. Took over in 2006. He confirmed the talks. Foley has been the owner of Lightwell Sports Group since 2020. Previously worked for United World Wrestling, the governing body which oversees the sport for world championships and Olympics, including Greco-Roman competitions. Colchester missed out on a place in the League Two playoffs. They finished 10th in the table. They had a scoreless draw against Barrow on the final day. Uh, Colchester was a championship club when Cowling took over in 2006. They had climbed from non-league football to the championship, and now they have been in League Two 9 straight seasons. They were relegated from the third tier in 2016. So interesting. Another wannabe Wrexham kind of lottery ticket potentially from Tim Foley and Lightwell Sports Group. We'll see what happens there. Georgia High School soccer tonight will be in Dalton. The Catamount boys host St. Pius. Nearly 20 state championships between these two schools. It'll be a 6:30 kickoff. We'll start our coverage about 6:15 or so. Mostly boys quarterfinals tonight. It was mostly girls quarterfinals yesterday. Previously unbeaten Brookwood, they lost last night at Buford. Number 1 seed Wesleyan, they were knocked out in the quarters by number 3 Lovett. Johns Creek's boys went on the road last night. They knocked off another number 1 seed from their region in Rome. And Johnson's boys, we were up there Friday night, round of 16 game against Calhoun, got stopped late in the first half. They tried to finish it on Saturday, couldn't, more storms. So they had to play it yesterday. Johnson ended up conceding before the end of the first half, which there were 12 and a half minutes left when the game was stopped on Friday. Calhoun scored. It was 1-1 at halftime. Johnson scored in the second half. They won 2-1. Now the Knights have to turn around and play a quarterfinal tonight. It was a 3.5-hour trip back and forth to Calhoun yesterday, and they got to get back out on the field today. Really difficult for Johnson, but there's only so much you can do. Greater Atlanta Christian won yesterday against Calvary Day. Marist 4-1 winners against Stars Mill in 4A. Oconee County 9-1 winners at Sandy Creek in 3A. Cahulla Creek won at Drew Charter. Atlanta Classical won at Screven County. Pike County won 8-1 over Sonoraville in 2A. Bremen 5-1 winners over Lamar County in 1A Division 1. Lambert in penalties, a win over Mill Creek in 6A. Whitewater in 3A advanced to the semifinals that they will host. They beat Adairsville 6-0. Pope in 6A, they beat Alexander 3-0. Alatoona 4-3 winners over North Oconee in overtime on the road in 4A. Roswell stays unbeaten, 19-0 in 5A. They won 4-1 at Habersham Central. Greenbrier beat Lassiter in the quarterfinal last night in 5A, 1-0. And Jefferson, 9-0 winners at home over Dawson County in 3A. They are your favorites to continue advancing and getting to the state championships next week. So we'll be in Dalton tonight. Ton of games coming up the rest of the week. Stay tuned to Soccer Down here on your social media platforms for our upcoming schedules as we figure out which semifinals we're going to do. And then a bunch of us will be involved in the state finals next week that you'll be able to watch on the NFHS network. That'll do it for us. I'll have Atlanta Soccer tonight, this evening on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app starting at 11 o'clock as I get back from Dalton. So no morning espresso in the morning tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday to recap everything from Champions League and everything else in the world of soccer. As always, presented by our friends at Oglethorpe University.